I remember saying over and over, God, I'll never do this again, ever, if you can just keep me in time and in tune. That's all I ask. That was my first.
Carlos Santana kept much of his life private. Fans knew him as a guitar legend who electrified Woodstock, released hit albums, and created a sound that fused Latin music, rock, and blues into something unforgettable. Yet behind the fame, there were moments of deep pain, struggle, and personal battles that few people could imagine. Santana experienced childhood trauma, professional hardships, and moments where he faced his darkest thoughts, including multiple suicide attempts. Even at the peak of his career, he wrestled with emotional pain, family pressures, and the heavy weight of expectations from himself and others. These experiences, though difficult, became the foundation of his art, shaping the music that has touched millions of people worldwide. Santana's life story is a testament to the human spirit's resilience and the way creativity can emerge from hardship, a story that is only fully revealed now. As he reaches the age of 77, Santana's early life in Mexico was filled with both inspiration and struggle. Born in 1947 in Autlanda, Navarro, his father was a violinist in mariachi bands and introduced Carlos to music at a very young age. The family's move to Tijuana when Carlos was 8 opened his eyes to a new world of experiences. It was there that he encountered a local rock band called the TJs playing a park, sparking his love for blues and rock. However, his childhood was also marked by trauma. He suffered abuse at the hands of an American man who tried to manipulate and control him, leaving lasting emotional scars. Despite this, music became a refuge, a way to express himself and escape the difficulties around him. By the age of 15, he was already playing in strip clubs to survive, learning the harsh realities of life while honing his musical skills. These experiences, though painful, gave him the resilience and determination that would later define his career. Moving to San Francisco in the early 1960s was a turning point for Santana. Life in the Mission District was difficult. He lived in crowded apartments with other struggling musicians, often sleeping on the floor and working long hours washing dishes just to survive. Money was tight, and he played on the streets for tips, sometimes earning only a few dollars a day. Yet, even in these tough conditions, Santana continued to practice and perform, refining his signature style that blended jazz, folk, blues, and Latin rhythms. He saved money for a Stratocaster guitar and dreamed of a future in music. Even when setbacks seemed overwhelming, the streets and local clubs of San Francisco became his classroom, teaching him lessons in improvisation, perseverance, and the power of connecting with an audience. These early struggles prepared him for the moment that would change his life forever. The breakthrough came in 1966 when Carlos Santana formed his first band, initially called the Santana Blues Band. By chance, he met musicians like Greg Rowley on keyboards and David Brown on bass, assembling a group that would eventually define his sound. The band's first big opportunity came at Woodstock in 1969, before they had even released their debut album. At just 22 years old, Santana performed on one of the world's biggest stages, even while under the influence of hallucinogens that left him disoriented. His intense focus and faith allowed him to navigate the performance, creating a moment remembered as one of the festival's most electrifying acts. Woodstock launched Santana into the spotlight, and the release of their debut album shortly afterwards solidified their rising fame. The band's mix of energetic Latin rhythms and rock riffs captured the imagination of listeners across the country, setting the stage for a career that would last decades. Santana's rise to fame brought not only music success, but also personal and financial responsibilities. With the release of albums and the growing popularity of hits like Evil Ways, he was able to support his family and fulfill promises to his loved ones. His first royalties allowed him to buy a house for his mother and ensure she had everything she needed, demonstrating his sense of responsibility and gratitude. During this time, he met Deborah King, the daughter of blues musician Saunders King. They married in 1973 and developed a deep partnership, both personally and professionally. Deborah helped manage Santana's career, finances, and business ventures, playing a crucial role in the success of the Santana Band, particularly during the 1990s. Together, they also founded the MRO Foundation in 1998, dedicated to helping underprivileged children through music, education, and health programs. Despite the professional and personal successes, Santana's life was not without struggles. His marriage eventually ended in divorce, following revelations of infidelity and other challenges. The breakup profoundly affected him, leading to a spiritual crisis and 7 suicide attempts. At his lowest points, Santana described hearing a soft yet powerful voice that reminded him he was not alone, helping him pull back from despair. Faith, music, and self-reflection became vital tools in his recovery, allowing him to forgive past abuses and find peace in life again. Over time, he discovered joy in simple things, like being present, eating, and practicing gratitude, experiences that informed his music and his outlook on life. These personal battles highlight that even those who seem larger than life face struggles that test their courage and resilience. As Santana's music career continued to flourish even as he faced personal challenges. In 1999, at the age of 52, he released the album Supernatural, which became a cultural phenomenon, selling over 30 million copies worldwide. It included hits like Smooth, which topped charts for weeks and brought Santana back into mainstream success. The album earned 9 Grammy Awards in a single night, tying a record previously held by Michael Jackson, and cemented Santana's legacy as one of the world's most influential musicians. Supernatural demonstrated that reinvention and persistence can overcome decades of career challenges and introduce a new generation to Santana's unique blend of Latin, blues, and rock music. Even decades after Woodstock, Santana showed that musical innovation and passion could remain timeless. As Santana's dedication to music extends beyond albums and concerts. He continues to perform live, including residencies in Las Vegas at the House of Blues, often with family members joining him on stage. His son Salvador contributes vocals and instrumentation, while his wife Cindy Blackman Santana plays drums, showing that music has become a family legacy. Performances include classics from his long career, as well as newer hits, blending nostalgia with contemporary artistry. Even at 77, Santana maintains high energy and professionalism, adapting to health challenges and ensuring that each performance is memorable. The live experience emphasizes his ongoing connection to fans and his enduring passion for music, proving that age has not diminished his talent or commitment. Alongside music, Santana's spiritual journey has greatly influenced his life and philosophy. He explored teachings from Sri Chinmoy before embracing Christianity, seeking a deeper connection to God and the universe. Spiritual practices, mindfulness, and reflection have guided him through both success and hardship. Santana emphasizes 4 key principles in his life: diet, devotion, dedication, and discipline. For him, strength is not just physical, but also mental and spiritual. This focus on balance has helped him maintain health, creativity, and a positive outlook, even when facing personal and professional challenges. His faith continues to shape his decisions, interactions, and approach to music, giving him perspective on mortality, purpose, and the power of human connection. Santana has also used his influence to give back to the community. Through the MRO Foundation, he supports children around the world with access to music, education, and health care. He has been vocal about civil rights, standing up for social justice, and using his platform to advocate for those without a voice. Even in recent years, despite facing controversies related to comments made at concerts, Santana has continued to emphasize love, positivity, and compassion, encouraging fans to celebrate their own light and divinity. His actions show that his contributions extend far beyond music, shaping not only culture but also inspiring social and spiritual awareness. Throughout his life, Carlos Santana has exemplified resilience, creativity, and the power of transformation. From a difficult childhood and challenging early career to superstardom, personal struggles, and spiritual growth, his journey is remarkable. His music has influenced generations, blending cultures and styles to create a universal sound. At 77, he continues to perform, inspire, and give back, proving that true artistry is not limited by age or circumstance. Santana's story reminds us that hardships can fuel creativity, that faith can guide recovery, and that dedication to passion and purpose can leave a lasting legacy. He is more than a musician. He is a symbol of resilience, hope, and the transformative power of music. For decades, Carlos Santana kept parts of his life hidden. We all knew him as a guitar legend who electrified Woodstock, released hit albums, and created music that changed the world. But behind the fame, there were struggles, pain, and moments of deep darkness that very few people knew about. 7 times. He even tried to end his life. And yet, today at 77, Santana is finally sharing his story, his truth, his pain, and the journey that shaped not just his music, but his soul. Let's dive into the full story. Carlos Santana was born in Mexico in 1947. His father, a violinist in mariachi bands, taught him music at a very young age. When Carlos was 8, his family moved to Tijuana. That move changed everything. There, he saw a local rock band called the TJs play in a park, and it sparked a love for blues and rock music that would define his career. But life wasn't easy. Around the same time, Carlos suffered abuse from an American man who tried to manipulate him. This trauma left lasting scars, and for years he felt guilt he didn't deserve. By the age of 15, Carlos was already playing guitar in strip clubs to survive. He saw things no child should ever see, and yet these experiences shaped his unique sound, a mix of Latin rhythms, blues, and rock that would one day captivate millions. Even in the darkest moments, music became his refuge, his lifeline, and the way he learned to fight for his future. In the early 1960s, Carlos moved to San Francisco, chasing his dream. Life was tough. He shared a tiny apartment with other musicians, often slept on the floor, and worked long hours washing dishes. Money was tight, and he could barely afford guitar strings. Some days, playing music on the streets earned him less than $5. Yet, every challenge became a lesson. The streets and small clubs of San Francisco taught him improvisation, persistence, and how to connect with an audience. He practiced relentlessly, mixing jazz, folk, and Latin influences into a sound that was completely his own. And slowly, the dream began to take shape. The seeds of a future legend were planted in those long hours of struggle, with nothing but a guitar and relentless determination. In 1966, Carlos formed his first band, the Santana Blues Band. By chance, he met Greg Rowley, a talented keyboardist, and David Brown on bass. They built a sound that would define an era. Then came the moment that changed everything. Woodstock 1969, AT just 22 years old. Carlos performed on one of the biggest stages in history, even while under the influence of hallucinogens. He was disoriented, seeing his guitar neck move like a snake, but he trusted his fingers and his instincts. That performance transformed him overnight. Woodstock wasn't just a concert. It was a launch pad for one of the most enduring careers in music history. After Woodstock, Santana's career skyrocketed. Hits like Evil Ways climbed the charts, and the band's debut album became an instant success. Carlos used his first royalties to buy his mother a house, showing his gratitude and sense of responsibility. In 1973, he married Deborah King, the daughter of blues musician Saunders King. Deborah became his partner in both life and business, helping manage the Santana Band and guiding his finances. Together, they founded the MRO Foundation in 1998 to help underprivileged children through music and education. Their collaboration was a true partnership, blending family, business, and music in a way that few artists ever experience. Life wasn't without pain. Santana's marriage eventually ended in divorce after revelations of infidelity. The separation brought him to his darkest point, leading to 7 suicide attempts. But even in these moments, a quiet inner voice reminded him that he was not alone. Faith and music became his anchors, helping him find peace and forgiveness, even for his childhood abuser. Through meditation, prayer, and spiritual exploration, Carlos learned to focus on simple joys, eating, breathing, and being present. His journey shows that even in the face of tragedy, resilience and self-reflection can lead to healing. In 1999, at the age of 52, Santana released Supernatural. The album became a global sensation, selling over 30 million copies and winning 9 Grammy Awards in a single night, tying a record held by Michael Jackson. Hits like Smooth dominated the charts for weeks, introducing a new generation to Santana's signature sound. This success was a reminder that reinvention and perseverance could overcome decades of ups and downs. It cemented his place not just as a legendary guitarist, but as an artist whose music transcends generations and cultures. Santana's love for music became a family affair. His wife, Cindy Blackman Santana, joined the band as drummer, while his son Salvador contributes keyboards, percussion, and vocals. Together, they perform classics and new hits, showing the audience that music can bond generations. Even at 77, Carlos still delivers high-energy performances, proving that age hasn't slowed down his passion or skill. Beyond music, Santana's life is shaped by spirituality. From following Sri Chinmoya's teachings to embracing Christianity, he has cultivated a strong connection to God and the universe. His principles, diet, devotion, dedication, and discipline, guide every aspect of his life. He also gives back, supporting children to the MRO Foundation and speaking out for social justice. Even amid controversies, he emphasizes love, compassion, and hope. Santana's life demonstrates that music, faith, and action can combine to inspire millions and bring meaningful change. Carlos Santana's story is one of resilience, creativity, and transformation. From a challenging childhood in Mexico to global superstardom, personal pain, and spiritual growth, he has faced every obstacle with courage and determination. His music, family, and philanthropy have left an indelible mark on the world. At 77, he continues to perform, inspire, and give back, proving that true artistry is timeless. Santana reminds us that struggles can fuel creativity, faith can guide recovery, and dedication to passion can leave a lasting legacy. Carlos Santana isn't just a musician. He's a living example of resilience, hope, and the power of music to heal and transform lives. From the streets of San Francisco to Woodstock, from supernatural to Las Vegas residencies, his journey inspires generations to dream, fight, and never give up. And now, at 77, he finally shares what we all suspected. Behind every legend, there is a story of struggle, courage, and triumph. For decades, Carlos Santana kept much of his life hidden from the public eye. The world knew him as a legendary guitarist who electrified Woodstock and created hits that defined generations. But few knew about the struggles, betrayals, and moments of darkness that shaped him. Behind the fame and the music, Santana faced unimaginable challenges, including 7 attempts to take his own life. These moments of despair remained secret for years. But at 77, Santana has begun to reveal the truth. His story is not only about music. It is a tale of resilience, spirituality, and the human capacity to overcome pain and transform it into art. From a challenging childhood in Mexico to his rise as an international music icon, Santana's journey reflects both the struggles and triumph that define a life lived fully. Through every heartbreak, challenge, and spiritual awakening, music was his constant companion, helping him process pain and channel it into a creative force that resonates with millions around the world. Carlos Santana was born in Mexico in 1947, into a family where music was already part of daily life. His father played the violin in mariachi bands and taught Carlos music from a very young age. When he was 8, his family moved to Tijuana, an event that changed his life in ways both inspiring and painful. It was there that Carlos discovered a local rock band called the TJs, whose performance in a park ignited his passion for blues and rock. But life in Tijuana was far from easy.